Hey, today I want to paint a stencil of Jimmy Carter. He's not doing so well right now, and he's probably not going to be with us much longer, but um, really fabulous guy, and I think one of our best post-term presidents ever. So we've got a white layer, we've got a light layer, and then a mid-tone layer, and then a dark layer. I kind of like to paint these in red, white, and blue somehow if I can. But I think that's going to mean not using the white stencil because we'll paint on a white surface. And then using, for example, very light red, it might be pink, it might be a mid-tone blue, and then a black for the darkest layer. I think that'll look good. Let's try it. Let's try it and see how it works out. I'm not super wild about this adhesive spray because it's leaving some marks on the places that I think should stay white, but we're going to live with it. So it's Jimmy Carter Day at Base Stencil, and we not only have this stencil, which was made from our traditional four color stencil pattern process, but we also have something new that we're trying. We're actually trying to work with CMYK halftone stencils. So what we have here is the K or black layer, we have the Y or yellow layer, and we have the magenta layer, the M, and then we have the cyan layer, the C layer. We're going to paint all these up, and what you're going to see is that CMYK stenciling allows you to approximate colors that are in between those CMYK, just like on the cereal box you used to have at breakfast. This is CMYK printing, and we're going to make a CMYK stencil of Jimmy Carter. So we've done our C, M, Y, and now it's time for K, the black layer. And as usual, the black layer usually brings out more detail, and we didn't get very many details of the eyes or the face, but now I think all those details are going to come through. So we have two stencils here of Jimmy Carter. We have the traditional stencil with the four color separation where we get to choose the colors. So we chose a red, white, and blue theme here and actually implemented with pink, blue, and black on a white background. So we didn't use our white stencil. So I guess you could say this used three stencils. Now this one used four stencils, and if you get up super close to it, it starts to look really abstract. But when you back away from it, you kind of have this photorealistic quality to it, whereas this definitely looks like paint followed by a border, followed by more paint. This starts to look more like a photograph. There are benefits to doing it either way. In this example, with the four color separation, you get to choose which color you want where. In this example, you need to use CMYK in order to get realistic colors. And you remember that we had to buy the paints. We had to buy the yellow, the blue, and the magenta. The yellow, cyan, and magenta, and black to get this effect. Now, you can use different colors here. And I'll show you some examples of that probably with another video. But you can use, for example, you could rotate this yellow into more of a salmon color, and you could rotate the red into a brown and rotate the blue into a more green tone, and you'd have a different look here. But I like the way this came out. There are bridges in both of them, and you can see the bridges here. We could have cut these bridges out and this would be less distracting, but there are a lot of bridges here, and I'd go back in with a paint marker, or I would cut my special stencil that allows me to just paint the bridges in order to fill these in. But all in all, the bridges don't bother me too much because they're not very dark on light, and these bridges don't bother me because there are almost no bridges in this one. Okay, we wish you well, Jimmy Carter. This is Dave signing off from Bay Stencil.